What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. We're about to check out a Warlock build that has truly surprised and impressed me so far this season. Since the beginning of Lightfall, players have used the combination of the NEZAREC'S with the Graviton Lance to give the Broodweaver Warlock class lightning-fast regeneration of not only their super energy, but all of their abilities. And when the Graviton Lance received reworks to its rate of fire and overall performance, this combination got stronger than ever. But now, in Season of the Wish, we've been given a new exotic that rivals the synergy that's shared between the Graviton and NEZAREC'S, and it gives us something much more beneficial. NEZAREC'S provides us with the Abyssal Extractor's intrinsic trait. So when we defeat enemies with any of our void weapons, we'll trigger this buff that provides us with a 300% bonus in the regeneration rate of our grenade and melee energy, along with a 200% increase to the regeneration rate of our super and class ability. With its ability to create devastating void explosions, the Graviton Lance has always made for an excellent choice to pair up with the NEZAREC'S on any subclass. But then earlier this season, the Buried Bloodline was introduced through the new dungeon, the Warlord's Ruin. The Buried Bloodline is similar in many ways to a Scorn Raider's crossbow. And not only will this make for one hell of a powerful exotic to pair up with the NEZAREC, but it even has the perfect name to give this tag team duo a fitting title of NEZAREC'S Bloodline. It shoots out 2 tracking bolts per shot, and because of its intrinsic traits called Violent Reanimation and Hungering Quarrel, hitting enemies with these bolts will trigger a leeching effect against your targets, generating 11 points of health on each landed bolt. There's not a lot of weapons in Destiny that provide you with health recovery, and most of the ones that do require you to get kills first. 11 health points might not seem like a lot, but when you're getting it off of each hit, it adds up quick. With the use of the seasonal artifact, this sidearm will even pierce barrier shields, and after defeating multiple enemies with this weapon, the Void Devour ability will get triggered, giving us even more health recovery. While Devour is active, you'll gain full health restoration on every weapon or ability final blow. And keep in mind, we are on a Broodweaver subclass, so we're also going to have the simultaneous benefits of Woven Mail to go along with Devour. While Devour is active, you'll also gain grenade energy off of each defeated enemy, ranging from 7% on low rank enemies, and as much as 20% on tier 4. Considering Abyssal Extractors will simultaneously provide us with grenade energy, the uptime of our grenades is just absolutely wild. Devour will start as a 10-second buff, but each kill will add 3 seconds back to its time. And once Devour is active, you don't have to keep using the Bloodline. You can easily conserve ammo and swap over to your kinetic or heavy weapons to keep Devour active. Even though the Bloodline is considered to be a special weapon, it still holds a ton of ammo, and with the use of special ammo finder mods, along with the special finisher class item mod, you'll never be short on ammo. With its catalyst unlocked, whenever we have Devour active, hitting targets with the Bloodline will cause them to become weakened. This is a standard void weakening effect that increases the amount of damage that we're able to cause to that enemy by 15%. So with the use of this sidearm, we'll be able to have Devour that's giving us health regeneration and grenade energy almost constantly. Plus we'll be able to weaken enemies and get health back off of each hit, which gives us a lot more benefits than we would receive when running the Graviton. The Graviton Lance does have Vorpal, and it creates void explosions, so in no way am I shaming that amazing exotic pulse rifle. It even offers turnabout, but sadly that can't be active while Woven Mail is, which isn't going to do us much good when running a Strand subclass. And to replace the void explosions that we would have had with Graviton, we could easily add in a heavy void weapon that comes with destabilizing rounds, or Dragonfly. Personally, I prefer the benefits of destabilizing rounds, especially on a grenade launcher like the Regnant or the Cosmic. This way we can start out our engagements by taking out a few rank and file enemies with our grenade launcher, making the rest volatile, and then switching back over to the Buried Bloodline to trigger the benefits of health recovery, Devour, and weakening effects. With all of our strand abilities getting lightning fast regen, let's take a look at how we've set up this Broodweaver class tree. We're using the Mind-Spun Invocation aspect in combination with Shackle Grenades, which should give us some phenomenal crowd control capabilities. Whenever we consume these grenades, we'll gain Weaver's Trance, and while Weaver's Trance is active, any final blow is going to cause surrounding enemies to become suspended. We're also using the Wanderer aspect, which will give our Tangles the ability of suspending enemies as well. To improve the effectiveness of these suspensions, we're using the Thread of Continuity fragment, which is going to double the amount of time that enemies stay suspended, unraveled, and severed. We're also using Thread of Wisdom, so by defeating suspended targets, we'll create additional orbs. And by using Thread of Warding, those orbs will give us Woven Mail, providing us with a 45% reduction to any incoming damage, which is going to work out perfectly since we're also going to have Devour active. We're already looking at exceptionally fast uptime of our grenade energy, but with the use of Thread of Generation, that's going to get even better. With this fragment, we'll gain a small amount of grenade energy as we apply damage, of any kind, to any target. It's not a lot of energy off of each tick, but it will add up fast. Before we take a look at our choices in armor and our companion weaponry, let's take a look at our seasonal artifact, because there's quite a few mods that we'll be able to take advantage of. From Whence It Came will be of benefit when going up against Scorn and Taken enemies, as this will increase all ability damage by 5%. With Wished Into Being, we'll create extra orbs whenever we're close to having our super energy full. This will give us Woven Mail and trigger various armor mods that we'll talk about here soon. Unraveling orbs will also benefit from orb creation, giving our strand weapons the added benefit of unraveling enemies after collecting those orbs. We are primarily focusing on void weapons with this build, because of the synergy with NEZAREC'S, but we still plan on adding at least one strand weapon no matter what the rest of our loadout is. We are using Dragon's Bite, so whenever we break opponent's shield with strand weapons, they have a chance of becoming suspended. And with the use of Horde Shuttle, whenever we damage unraveled enemies, they'll create additional threadlings that will track down and attack nearby enemies. When it comes to our choice in armor and armor mods, our plan is to amplify our ability regeneration beyond what it already is. And we've got mods like Impact Induction, Orbs of Restoration, Bomber, and Innervation, which are predominantly going to aid our grenade regeneration. We're also using Siphon mods and the Reaper class item mod to generate additional orbs, which will give us Woven Mail, and it's going to give us armor charges. And with those armor charges, we can make use of the Special Finisher mod, so we can maintain an abundance of ammo for the Buried Bloodline and any other special weapon that we might be simultaneously running. We might not always need the benefits of Special Finisher, so if you are running short on Intellect, Resilience, or Recovery, you could throw on Fonts of Wisdom, Endurance, or Restoration. I wouldn't recommend running a Kickstart mod with this build, since those will consume your armor charges, taking away your ability to trigger Special Ammo Finisher, which is also an issue you could experience when running weapon surge mods. And with weapons in mind, let's talk about the weapons that will be pairing up with the Buried Bloodline. We already talked about the Regnant and other heavy void weapons that come with destabilizing rounds, or Dragonfly, but when we are running a double special loadout, I find it best to run a heavy machine gun, like the Retrofit Escapade, or the Commemoration. Since they have larger ammo capacities, these weapons will be a great option to swap over to after you weaken targets and trigger Devour with the Bloodline. There's a few different options I like going with in the kinetic slot based on the activity I'm going into. Strand weapons like the Scatter Signal or Until Its Return are my preferred options, but there are times when we need to stun Overload champions. There is the option of the Overload Rocket Launcher seasonal mod that we could use in combination with rocket launchers like the Braytech Osprey. But if we're wanting to stick with double special weapons, we could look at stasis fusion rifles with chill clip, which could help against overload and unstoppable champions. I also like the addition of a strong strand auto rifle or pulse rifle like the Rufus's Fury or the Different Times, since they will both stun overload champions this season. Having a primary weapon will make it a lot easier to manage our special and heavy ammo, which can certainly become an issue in activities with reduced ammo drops, like Grandmaster Nightfalls. This would also remove the need of running special finisher mod, allowing us to use weapon surges instead. But the biggest thing to remember is that our bonus ability energy is going to come from the use of void weapons. Because of how versatile the Buried Bloodline is, it facilitates so many different playstyles. You can be aggressive or play from a distance, but either way that you play, you're going to get the benefits of improved ability regeneration and Devour. You'll have incredible crowd control capabilities with all of the suspensions, and you'll be causing all of those enemies to become weakened. So not to poke fun at the Graviton Lance in any way, it's still an exceptionally powerful weapon. But with the inclusion of the Buried Bloodline, this NEZAREC'S Broodweaver build has never been stronger, and it's all thanks to the amazing exotic synergy created through NEZAREC'S Bloodline. And with that said, that brings us to an end of today's build video. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the Broodweaver Warlock, NEZAREC'S, and the Buried Bloodline, and if you've given this combination a try yet. Let us know down in the comments below. If you need to make a copy of today's build, you can easily do so by visiting the Destiny Item Manager link that's down in the description below. And if you're a new Guardian or a returning one looking for a new home, then be sure to check out the Discord link that's also down in the description. Thank you as always for checking out the video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated, and both really do help support the channel. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.